Got on 520 for you, okay?
All right. Welcome to another live edition. How is everyone doing here? Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Whenever you are viewing this video, we're going to talk about a little bit of pop culture comings and goings on what's been going on in the world. A couple of fun games. It's going to be fun. A fun day, and I thank you for hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, notification bell, lets you know when I'm posting videos, and all that good stuff. So a couple of things, and my channel actually has give you the stats, and I like to thank you if you've been looking at my videos here. It's grown, probably the greatest growth that I had in quite some time. So in the course of the last 28 days, total watch time in videos 772 hours. Views in the last 28 days is 20,200, and the subscriber change is plus 69. So I've gained 69 subscribers in the last 28 days. In the last 28 days, again, I have 20,000 views, and hours, I have 772 hours, which for some it might not be great, but for me that's pretty damn phenomenal, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. So stay strapped in for the ride. I promise you a lot of more fun things will be coming in along. Yeah, I mean, this week I try to keep this every week. Try to do this every week. It's been more like every 10 days, honestly. Because of whatever it gets in the way, and it's hard trying to stay up and do these things with work and all that stuff. But we're running on about every 10 days doing this, and it's fun doing this. And like to start off our little session this week, a little game, and I'll throw some your way. Without revealing your age, say something that a young person would not understand. Without revealing your age, say something that a young person would not understand. And here comes the shaking, the turning of the head. It is in the phone book drawer. Phone book drawer. How many people know what a phone book drawer is? Or how many of us have said, get off the computer, I have to make a phone call. Getting off the computer, getting off AOL, getting off the internet because someone needs to use the phone line, or even for that matter, hopping on the internet after 9 o'clock. Because that's when you usually could use the computer, because back in those days, people actually called the house line, and you needed the house line to be open. And after 9 o'clock, calling the house back then, and in those days, was considered rude. Yes, people did have manners back in those days. And I remember when you used to hop on the computer. Back then, the popular thing was AOL. You're trying to hop on the computer now. Mind you, it's after 9 o'clock already. You're trying to hop on the computer, and it's dial-up. So the number that you're trying to dial up, you're hoping it's a local number, meaning in your area code. Sometimes that number was busy, so good luck getting through. If you got through back in those days, the connection speed might not necessarily be the greatest. So sometimes if you had if you had to jump on the computer and you really wanted to be on the computer, you had to dial a number that was not local. And dialing a not local number meant the phone bill was a little bit more. And as a kid, how are you going to explain why is the phone bill greater? Well, I don't think you could sit back in your chair and think of a good explanation to explain why using the internet and going on chat rooms justifies you using not a local number. How about something else to make people scratch your head and be like, wow, how old are you? How about Thanksgiving catalog for Christmas gifts? Remember catalogs? Sears catalog for Christmas gifts. How about that? Remember that back in those days? How about, actually, they even had, if I'm not mistaken, they used to have Columbia House CDs. They used to sell CDs through Columbia House. And what it was almost like, it was pretty cool for back in those days. What it is you would get CDs, listen to them, eventually send them back, and then you would get more CDs back. It's kind of like the early, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like the early beginnings of Netflix before they went, before they went live streaming. They used to send you, DVDs. You look at it, and then you return it back. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the early days of Netflix. Before there was Netflix and chill, obviously. Or how about if you're a big gamer, if you loved your video games, how about when a Nintendo game wouldn't want to work, you just take it out and blow on it and put it back in. Nintendo. Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Nintendos. Or back in those days, when growing up, I remember if there was a song that you wanted to hear on the radio, well, you would make sure that you would have a cassette player. And it had to be a double cassette player, one that would play music and one that would record. And what you would do is you would get your cassette tapes, you would get blank cassette tapes that they would sell at, let's say, a PC Richard, Crazy Eddie's. I don't think Best Buy was around back then. But whatever, you would get these tapes and you wait by the radio all day just to be able to press record when your favorite song came on. How about that? Trying to catch your favorite song on the radio. Or how about when you first got your cell phone? Yes, many years ago in the late 90s, you would have a Nextel with the chirp. And on that Nextel chirp, that Nextel two-way, you would also, when you were trying to strategically come up with a cool voicemail, you would play a song. And that was your voicemail. How about, did you ever hear, don't stretch the phone cord? Back in those days where you had the phone, the rotary phone in the kitchen, and you're making a call and you want to get some privacy as a teenager. You're trying to take the phone into your room, and that phone cord would stretch from the kitchen into your room. You want to play video games? Well, make sure the TV is on channel 3. I had to make sure that was the case. I also needed pencils to fix my cassettes. Did you ever hear people, before there was Google, before you used to Google stuff, you were told to look it up in the dictionary? How about that for dating yourself? If someone said to you, what does or what is the capital of such and such place, or what does this place mean? What does this thing mean? You would tell them, look it up in the dictionary. Wow, looking up in the dictionary. Talk about being old and dating myself, huh? I remember used to go to Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster Video. If you wanted, back in those days when I used to go to the library in elementary school, if I wanted to find a book in the library, I would use the Dewey Decimal System by finding the catalog card in the file drawer. How about that? How about there were times that, I had to adjust the rabbit ears so the television will come on. 3 resources always back then for a school paper: World Book Encyclopedia, Newsweek, Time Magazine, and of course Grandma, Grandpa, because, well, they always knew everything. Am I right? Or am I right? How about that for reviewing one's age? How old are you really? How old are you really? This past week, DMX passed away, and just turning 40. I remember DMX was very popular amongst amongst all the kids in school during that time. When I was in high school, late 90s. Everyone was a DMX fan, and it's tragic to think. It really kind of like amazing for me, or like really like surreal, just to think about the difference in age, and really between a guy like DMX and me is just, I think, 10 years. That's amazing to me. And DMX passed away because of a heart attack. And DMX, you have songs, and everyone when they used to tag up their book bags back then in high school with their Jan Sport book bags. You remember Jan Sport book bags? Used to have your patches, and used to kind of scribble music bands and sayings, and It was always like Nirvana, um, Oasis back then, and then like DMX. He um, trend like even like from school, like I noticed, like you had kids that just like rock music, well, and grunge. Well, they always liked DMX. Like that, DMX was always the exception. Like DMX transcended. Um, he transcended music, and that like you didn't you didn't have to necessarily like rap to like DMX. When you listen to DMX, um, you knew that that guy was all emotion, and he kind of expressed that on stage and with his songs, with his lyrics. And I just feel that DMX career, as a whole, was a little bit over, underwhelming, and that's not, you know, um, that's not trying to insult him by any means of the imagination. I don't want you to think that I am insulting him when I say that his career was underwhelming. It just, he, to me, like I remember in the late middle to late 90s, early 2000s, like he was going to a point. Maybe even was in a couple of films, couple of movies, and then he's just kind of dropped and stopped and really just didn't go anywhere. Like I think he should have been further than where he wound up. I believe he would have. I believe that he was. You see, Jay Z, for example, being like a businessman, and being or even guys like 50 Cent, they're out there, and they're doing other stuff besides rap. That's what I thought DMX could be. He had that type of charisma. He was able to engage a lot of the fans, and just passed away very early at 50. And again, I just feel like he was overwhelming. I feel like he missed, like he reached a point, and then he kind of dropped off. And I think that's very unfortunate. I think that's part of why we should never ignore people and always try to get them help, and um, try to get them out of runts, because you hear stories about DMX, and you don't know how true they are, or how false you know they are, but you hear stories, and you just kind of shake your head. What if those factors were not around? Would he be have able to reach the next step? And I think he definitely would have been able to. Hold on one second. Those were just my thoughts on DMX. I'll be right back. Getting a refreshment. Hold tight, guys. So yes, rest in peace to DMX, a guy that could have just gone even higher than he had. And you wish him and his family healing and all the best, obviously. Here we are again. We're making progress as far as the vaccine goes. Still wearing mask. Getting the vaccine, coming along. It's very hard to make an appointment, but those masks are definitely really becoming a part of your society, and it's really it's actually a great thing because I find it helpful in everyday life. Three main reasons with the masks, right? One, obviously, it's gonna keep you safe. You don't have to worry about the wind because it's as it's during the winter time with the frigid temperatures and the wind just blowing at you. You got the mask, you're protected. You don't have to worry about getting sick. You will also, the masks kind of protect you from people seeing your true emotions that you're letting out, like your facial expressions. Well, you can't see them, so if you're dealing with not the brightest cookie in the tool shed, if you're dealing with not the brightest tool in the tool shed, well, that mask is gonna really protect you from them having to see anything. And and the mask, you could actually use it as an accessory. You can match it now with your clothing, and if you like being stylish, you're stylish now. We're getting there. And hopefully the end is near, and we could go back to normal life, and you keep your fingers crossed, and I got a feeling that's we're making progress. Play a little game here. Replace one word in a band's name with moist. Replace one word in a band's name with the word moist. How about the Moist Stones? Or you have the Moist Oyster Cult. You're welcome to play along at home. The Sex Moist, the Moist Beatles, of course. Dave D, Dazzy, Beaky, Moist, and Titch. the moist crawl. Moist decapitation. But of course, kings of moist, the moist chicks, a moist G's, pussycat moist, moist leopard. Replace one word in a band's name with moist. Moist force, Dexy's midnight moist. Sounds a little bit, leave that there for your imagination. How about moist, moist? Kings of moist, I said that. The Moist Brothers. Moist temptation. It's fun playing games. We'll do another one for you. And you're welcome to play along at home. And this is what we do. We just have a little fun. Your rap name is Little. Then the last thing you spent money on. Ready? Play along. Little low sodium garbanzo beans. Some people are little peas, grits, and salt pork. Little baby back ribs. Little take trout dinner. Little fruit salad. Little Hollywood and vibe. Little cup of coffee. Little flowers. Little screws. Little hedge trimmer. Little hair color. Little pet insurance. Little Jiffy Pop. And what we're doing, your rap name. Of course, you want to make a scene. You want to make it big. You need a rap name. Your rap name is Little. Then the last thing you spent money on. How about though? Do you think Little Blunt Rap? Would that name make it big? Little Monster Cigs. Little Blue Cheese. Could Little Blue Cheese be a rapper? How about Little Ezel? Little Biscuits. Little Summer Sausage. Little PlayStation 5. Little Lace Front. All names that we heard. And are coming to a radio near you. A man, moving right along here, a man finds 15,000 bees in his car after leaving a grocery store. 15,000 bees. 15. Wow. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you just so a supermarket shopper who was about to drive away after putting his groceries in his car came face to face with a swarm of bees in the back seat earlier this week. 15,000 bees. I hate bees. I am deathly afraid of bees. let me share you my bee story. So, I was in the South. I was in the Nashville area, by the way. Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful, beautiful place. Beautiful place is Nashville. And I had decided to take a walk. And of course, had my camcorder, was going to film stuff. Film as I was out and about, looking in the neighborhood, looking in the town. And it was summertime, humid. I put on cologne. I believe it was Curve. You guys familiar with Curve? I'm a big fan of Curve. Big fan of Curve. And as I'm having Curve, I'm in this field. It's a park. And next thing I know, I have this wasp. This big, big thing. Might have been a wasp, but I don't know. It was big. And it was chasing me. It wasn't chasing me. Let's rephrase that. It was squirming around me, and I was trying to swat it away. It didn't work. I kept swatting it again. Trying to. Swatting it some more. And now this bee is hell-bent on getting me. And well, I'm still trying to swat it. Now it's like I'm almost running in place, and then I'm actually running because the bee is still going after me. Take off my shirt, trying to kind of like fling it at the bee, just to kind of like have something else to kind of knock it down, and eventually it leaves me. But I'm running down the field, running like a maniac, like a lunatic. I don't know how far I ran. Ran enough. All because of a damn bee. I hate bees. I tell you, I hate bees. Can't imagine what that sir went. Godspeed. 15,000 bees. Jeez. 15,000. Yuck. Yuck. There was this article. They never got a chance to go over it with you guys. Now I want to go over it. Now, give you my thoughts on it. Make sure that I have the exact story down. I have the overall gist. Okay. Here it is. Let me read it. Mom who makes $150,000 a month from OnlyFans says Catholic school expelled her three sons because of her page. This whole mentality of harassing a mom to get her kids out of school, I have a hard time wrapping my head around. California mom of 3 is speaking out after she says her 3 sons were expelled from the Catholic school due to her presence on the adult social platform OnlyFans. This in regards to her OnlyFans photos, which were leaked to Sacred Heart Parish School in Sacramento by other parents and ultimately led to their 3 sons, ages 8, 10, and 12 being kicked out. She goes, "My kids are really good and all this has done is hurting them. Take me down, that's fine, but leave my kids out of this." Crystal says she and her husband of 14 years, Chris, turned to the platform in 2019 after experiencing marital problems that had them on the brink of divorce. Missing that intimacy we had, and a lot of it was because I was going through menopause, she explains. No matter what you say, you don't feel attractive or sexy, so we try different things to spice up our marriage. $150,000 a month on OnlyFans. Listen, these are people, first of all, that are willing to pay. It's all, it's all in, you sign on, sign various forms, and this is all something that you something that these people want to do, at least now for their lives, and worry about people are, what I'm saying is, on different sides of the spectrum, make a ton of money each month doing something that is legal. People might not find that it's right, very appealing.
What is Pentecost? I'm sorry. What is Pentateuch? Correct. Pentecost. Please, somebody stop the bleeding.
OnlyFans, right? Again, trying to word this the right way. Has nothing to do with her kids. Nothing to do with their kids. Kids are the ones going to the school. And, it's, she's doing nothing illegal, and all that she's really trying to do is just trying to really ultimately pay for her college tuition, which she has written before that, or she have said before, it's problems. It was problems. It's a problem. You're hurting the kids. You're setting them back as far as learning, because you and the parent are having a difficulty. But one does not have to do with the other. Money was obtained legally to make the payments. You might not agree upon it with it, but you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And you can't have the kids be left out and excluded. Fact is, the parents did not murder anyone. hey, be aware that this day and age in social media, and I know you're going against a Catholic school, and their views are kind of close-minded. But if you're close-minded, remember that a lot of traditional way people are making money, people that's gone by the wayside. You're gonna hear a lot more of these interesting career paths that people have taken. But again, the kids should not be punished. Last thing here before I leave you guys, download the Peacock app. Peacock app. I only pay $4.99 for it. I get the WWE Network on it. I get Unsolved Mysteries channel, which I'm a huge fan of. So it plays literally the Unsolved Mysteries. The channel plays it the whole day, constant. Shows like This Old House, SNL's Saturday Night Live Vault on there. The WWE Network is on there. And you have old shows that are on there as well. Old reality shows. Staten Island Hustle, which was actually a favorite of mine too. Believe it or not, in Staten Island Hustle, Tony DeSico, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, was the guy that got me into the finance industry. That taught me and was my mentor. He's passed away, but when I was training to be a stockbroker, that was his deal. Obviously, I haven't spoke to him since I left the business, but I found that he was on Staten Island Hustle. A great show too. If you're into Bob Ross, well, you have something for Bob Ross too. If you're into all if you're into old SNL clips, go in there. There's a lot as well. So it's it's good stuff. Definitely download the Peacock TV app, and I think that's the way of the future. It is a la carte. Believe me, I've been trying to figure out something. I'm getting there. Hopefully, I'll figure it out this year. But I need to get rid of cable, paying for a lot of channels that you don't watch, and they're just taking advantage of you. After cable boxes, the modem. After the cable boxes, and it's just at the end of the day, you scratch your head how much you pay on cable. Maybe it's time for apps and streaming and a la carte. Quite honestly, and Peacock would probably be one of the first ones I would download. So if you haven't, do check it out. Download Peacock TV. It has a lot of stuff that NBC, it's owned by NBC, would not have. So, all right, guys, we're approaching 45 minutes. Just thought I'd hop on quickly. That's all for this week. Again, I usually post on Wednesday and Saturday. Sometimes a day early, sometimes a day later. But I do post twice a week. With this video, you're looking at 3. So I hope all is well, guys. Look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Mahalo.